Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be covering some of my goal setting and I'll be showing you some pictures of my goal board that is right over there. Unfortunately, every time I went to try to film it, it was just a complete and utter disaster. So I'm going to be throwing some pictures up and discussing it there. Okay, editing Kaylee here. So this is my board. This is why it's impossible to film because there's just everything everywhere. But so this is quarter one, quarter two, and quarter three, and quarter four. And now I'm going to jump into pictures. It's basically a quarter across each time. And what I've done here is I've figured out based on the amount of days in the month, the blue numbers at the bottom. That's my kind of, I wrote minimum there, but it's actually kind of the word count goal. So what that is I took all of the days per month that I could work, that I could write, and then I took out 3 days per month for just in case something bad happens. And I added up how many, words or how many days I could write, and then I threw in that 3,000 word count goal for each day that I could write. Okay, so we're back. So I'm actually just about to throw another picture up. Right now, these notebooks, I just got a bunch of these from Barnes & Noble, and they're just cheap little notebooks. It was $8 for a pack of 3 of them, and I bought 4 packs, so this is what we're working with here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this is working, because it's kind of funky how I've got this set up. So I have the first book that I put out and the second book that I put out. And these have 2 main characters. They have Anna and Devin. Both human at the starts of the book, both not human at the end of book 1. And then in book 2, it's they go on a journey together. And then it jumps over into 2 separate journeys. And this is book 3, book 4, and book 5. And these are all birthright. Of the Forsaken, right? And then there's Phoenix Flight and the books after it, which are, this series right here is Rise of the Forsaken. Then they come back together, and you can read this in any order. So basically, if you read 1 and 2 and you like Devin more, you can jump to these ones. That's my plan. Or if you like Anna more, you can jump to these ones. Or you can read them back and forth. I plan on releasing them back and forth. So I plan on doing, because I've already released these 2. So then I plan on releasing book 3, then book 6, then book 4, then book 7, then book 5, then book 8. It gets a little complicated. Then you jump into book 9. Book 9 is 300 years later. So neither of these 2 are human. They are both immortal. And book 9 actually is about, well, I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, some of the same characters that go through both of these journeys end up meeting back together here in book 9. And then there's book 10, 11. And this is Redemption of the Forsaken. And then it comes to book 12 down here. However, I've been having ideas for another offshoot series that I'm calling Burnt Earth. And my handwriting is terrible. Terrible, terrible. This is why I write everything digitally, because my handwriting is just awful. So, and this is 300 years after here. So this is in the future. And then this all comes together. And the mysteries that are in book 1 get solved. Some of them come together and you kind of figure out what's going on with our whole, the whole thing gets solved right here, and we figure it out, and then it gets resolved here. So it's actually 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a 15-book series. And I'm working on book 3 and book 6 right now. So it's a lot. And I have ideas. I kind of know a lot of what's happening in all of these books. I know the premises of each of them. So what I did was I created this kind of collection right here. So So instead of showing you the picture, I'm just going to show you the actual books themselves. So this is a collection of notebooks where I can just add in separate notes for each of the books as I'm writing. What I have a big notebook. Okay, so I have this big monster. I mean, it doesn't even fit in the camera. Like, it's huge. This is a letter-sized happy planner, and it's got all of my world building in it. Like, all of the big, like, the creatures and the landscapes and things like that. Those are all going in here. But I don't want to have to pull out this monster every time I'm writing. It's a pain in the butt, and I don't want to do it. So instead, I'm going to be taking notes in these guys. And I don't need ones for book 1 through 3. They're already written. And I also don't need them for book 6 because I'm writing it right now. So I kind of skipped around. So this is the Rise, book 2 and book 3. This is Birthright, book 4 and book 5. And then it jumps into the final series. And Burning Earth, book 1, 2, and 3 is all going in this because I'm still undecided about exactly what that world's going to entail. This is the one that has no world building whatsoever in it. It's my newest idea that I just love. I'm so excited about it. Like, the ideas that are coming to me for this have re-sparked my whole passion for this whole series. It's kind of funny. So anyway, I'm going to be just keeping these on my desk. I will show that picture right here. Okay, so that's like, it's set up to where I can see them easily. I can read them easily. The candles will come out of the way. I kind of put those in there just to hold it up to make sure it didn't fall on camera. But basically, they're going to be super easily accessible and just right there for me to write notes in them. And they're an inexpensive solution to a real problem that I'm having because I have all these ideas in the middle of working on writing and I don't want to pull out that big notebook. And I also don't want to go flipping through and trying to figure out, well, is this book 3 or book 5? You know what I mean? And then for the book club book, I actually got these. And I love these for the book club book. I actually don't like these covers at all, except for the fact that they are books, because the book club book, the main character owns a bookstore. She's a witch, she owns a bookstore, and she runs a book club. And so it's called the book club book because it's kind of about her adventures in the book club. And because I am already working on book 1 and I have ideas for book 2 and book 3, I wanted to be able to write them down. And then I may or may not, depending on how I feel once I get done with book 3, I might write some later books. So I just kind of left this open. So later book ideas, just in case I have something further to say. And if not, this is really easy. This is a removable sticker paper, so I can just peel it off and reuse a notebook for something else. I probably won't, to be frank. I hate these covers. I shouldn't say I hate them. They are very appropriate for the book that they're for, and that's all I want them for, because this is not my vibe. It's way too busy. It's way too much. It's even like, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. It's gold foiled. Like, they're pretty nice. They're just not my cup of tea. So, and then oh, that's cool. That's a feature I didn't know was in there. So it's lined paper and then like drawing paper. That's interesting. Yeah, cool. See, I didn't even bother flipping through these because I just needed scratch paper that was in one place because, okay, look at this craziness. This is a stack of note cards that I have from just my latest editing for the book club book. And it's all just random crap that I wrote down while I was writing that is now all scattered all over the place. I'm not even sure all of these are for the book club book. They might be planning notes. They might be something else. They're in this stack, and I am so tired of this stack. And I'm also tired of not processing this stack. So these are going to be where these get processed, if I even write in them at all, if I don't just pull these out and use them. It really depends on what's the most convenient for me while I'm writing. However, these do represent a place where I can put them. So, even if I have to just do that so that they're not floating on my desk and getting mixed up with other note cards for other books. So anyway, that's my plan for the future. So in this year, my stretch goal. So my plan for this year is to release book 3 and book 6 in this series, because each of these books, this book was like a little over 75,000 words, and this book was, I want to say roughly the same, maybe a little bit more, but book 3 is going to be a 100,000 word book, and so is book 6. And knowing how long these books are going to be and how in-depth and detailed they are, I know I'm going to need more time to write them. So for this year, I'm going to be doing, as you saw in the picture, although I probably flashed it so fast that it went by fast, I'm going to be doing book 3 and then book 6. So this is, yeah, Birthright. And then this is Rise. And then I'm doing the book club book. I'm doing 1, 2, and 3 this year. The book club book is a much faster, so these are dark fantasy. These are like gory, violent, scary, deeply emotional dark fantasy. I love them. They're a lot of fun to write. They are an emotional investment to write. These books here are more fun. So this is a paranormal romantic mystery. The basis is a mystery, but there's also a subplot of a romance, and there's a subplot of like paranormal. And I've come up with the title. So this is me officially announcing the title of the book club book, which I will probably still call the book club book, but the title of the book club book is going to be Books and Ghosts and Pixies on Toast. If that tells you anything about what these books are. They're funny, they're lighthearted, there are some like intense emotional moments, like trigger warning, there's like domestic violence and child abuse and things like that. Like they do have adult emotional themes. However, there's no real gore in these. They're more funny, they're more about one person's emotional experience rather than about a group of people. Like for reference, there's 2 point of view characters in each of these, right? It's my main character and then it's her cat. And those are the 2 point of views for all 3 of these. Also, yes, there is a cat that is a point of view character, who is not actually, he's a special cat. Let's put it that way. So those are the 2 point of view characters for this book. For this book, these books here, book 2 had, I think, 8 point of view characters. This book right here, book 3, has 10 point of view characters, and I believe the first Rise book has 10 point of view characters as well. So these are really complex. They're complex for a reason. They're leading to a really big, very important mystery being resolved basically by the end. The whole series is a mystery, but each actual book itself is more like an epic journey. It's these characters going through these battles and trying to kind of resolve one situation, and then as one situation gets resolved, another one happens. These are more like a series of movies that all kind of connect to the same thing, whereas these are just, I don't know, more fun. These are more lighthearted. And writing these is a lot faster, and I think it's because it's more lighthearted. It's less complex. I don't have to go back through and make sure that my voices for each of my characters is accurate. Because I know my 2 main characters so well that when I'm in the cat's point of view, it's already automatically a completely different tone than when I'm in my main characters. Okay, so here's another problem that I've run into. So in the 2 books that I have already published, my main character's name is Aina. It's Irish. She had originally a different name, but it was impossible for us American people to pronounce correctly. Everybody who read it said her name completely differently. I got Athena's. It was weird. So I switched her name when I published the second book. I went back and changed it in the first book. Her name is Aina. And then in the book club book, I've got Inna. Totally on accident, didn't realize I had done something so similar, but Aina and Inna, it dawned on me in the shower the other day. I'm like, oh wow, that's too close together. So I'm probably going to be changing her name, but I've been calling her Inna in my writing vlogs, which is really funny. So I will be likely changing her name to something else. She is, she's like a 130-year-old witch from Russia. She fled Russia in the 1920s, and now she's living in the United States, and so I need to change her name to something else because it's just way too close. So I'm going to do some brainstorming on that, and that will be changed before I jump into, book 2 and start plotting out book 2 with that name. Because let me tell you, changing her name was so frustrating. And finding it where, like, I had, done typos with her original name where I'd switched 2 letters around. And so that old name was still in there with a letter switched around. And I had people reading it going, what? Who are you talking about here? And I'm like, oh, whoops. So that'll be fun. Anyway, I'm editing this book right here with this name so I can edit that and I will come up with a different name, hopefully, if I don't decide to leave it. I don't know. I'm attached to it, which is kind of ridiculous, but they sound too similar. So anyway, I actually almost completely forgot to talk about this little guy. So I've actually had this for a while. This is a frankenplanner. So what it is I got the one of the planners with this on it, and I ended up just taking out the calendar pages themselves because I didn't need them. So here are all of the line pages that were in that, and then I just bought another one off of Amazon. That's the dot grid. Let me move this over. And frankly, I hate this on the dot grid. Like, it makes me crazy. I hate it violently. So I haven't used this. I've actually had this for like half a year and I haven't used it, but I am such a Grogu fan. Like, yeah. Like, I'm kind of a little bit of a Star Wars nerd. I'm not, a crazy fan that thinks like the new stuff is horrible and all of that and is, obsessed with canon. Frankly, I really like the movies. I think they're fun. I really love The Mandalorian. Like, I thought it was brilliantly done. The special effects were just awesome. And I love the character of Grogu. He's adorable. Absolutely freaking adorable. So anyway, now that I'm done with that rant, so what I've done for this is I basically wanted to have a way to get more into my goals than just my my board. I wanted to be able to kind of break it down a little bit more and in more detail because I didn't want to just focus on my books this year as much as my books and my writing career are my main focus for the year. I also want to kind of have a sub-focus of working on my health. So what I've done here, and I will link down below the blog post where I got some of the inspiration for these at. It was a very helpful blog post. So I will get back to Pinterest and find that blog post and bring it back because it was so helpful. So anyway, what I've done here is I've basically broken down like, what I want to achieve in my career. I want to publish my 5 books. I want to fix my blog and do newsletter and then I want to do ad plans and YouTube videos and kind of my plan for those. But then I wanted to kind of work on my health and some of my mental health. So like, this is my plan for, my physical and mental health for this year. And I'm just adding one new thing every month and I'll let that become like a thing. So for January, I just want to do daily tarot. And then for February, I'll do daily tarot and add more veggies to my diet. And it's just one new habit that I really want to focus on and build for each month so that the next month I can kind of take this month for granted. So by the end of October, I want all of these things to be my new habits, but I don't want to add too many new habits right away because that never ever works for me. And I really want to make some substantial, long-lasting changes in my health this year. And my health, my mental health, my spirituality, all of that. So, which I know some people like, why is tarot in your health? Because it has to do with my spirituality, which I have not been really prioritizing for a while. So anyway, I'm not going to bring any of that to the channel. If that's not your jam, don't worry about it. And then here's my career. And I had a completely different plan over here for publishing my books. And so I had to like cut out a piece of paper and cover that up. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's fine. And then what I did was I took all of kind of the basics of these 3 things and just threw them in where they needed to be. To kind of, again, build each thing a little bit at a time so I'm not overwhelmed with them. And then I added in colored, these are actually the colored friction pens. I love these. I'm kind of obsessed with them. I need to buy more. They're like my favorite thing right now. So, it's kind of things like, okay, so, do the map of the house and property for the book club book. for Phoenix Flight, do the map and the world building. Like, these are things that I want to focus on. So just for in January, while I'm doing the rough drafts on the side, I want to be working on taking the epilogues out of book 1 and book 2. So right now, those 2 books, if you're interested in them, I would highly recommend getting them now, because I'm going to go through and take the epilogues out of them, because that's going to become my kind of a freebie at the end of the book. Hey, if you want the epilogue, come over here to my newsletter and join my newsletter, and here's that free epilogue. And it will be every single book in the thing will have an epilogue. And I'm very, very excited about it. So I'm going to be taking them out of books 1 and book 2 and throwing them up on my website as kind of a free newsletter thing. I'm going to be combining my website and my newsletter and I'm going to be trying something different. And so that's going to be kind of, happening as we go. And this is part of it. And then like in March, redo my copy and aesthetics for book 1 and book 2. So my ad copy, I had a bunch of short videos that I threw up on TikTok, and I am going to be starting shorts on here. So my main videos on here will be about planning and about writing and about kind of the author life. And then the shorts will be just about my books and my stories. So I'm going to be planning more stuff for that here. So that's when the planning starts. And then I will probably be starting them here. Maybe. It depends. Actually, I'll probably be starting them more here. Just because I'm going to be wanting to make sure that I have built up, my ad copy for books 1 and book 2, and then kind of just slowly building these things so that when I get to December and it's the end of the year and I am where I am right now, I can just take this time to really go, okay, what do I want next year? I've realized through this month and the process of this month that I need this time to really figure out what I want. So anyway, that's that. And then for each of these months, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to probably more towards the end of next week, go through and I'm going to number the pages and then put on like different tasks of goal tasks and what I want to be doing. And then like a to-do list here, and then, the days of the month here. And then I'm going to be doing a review. And the most important part about this is the plan and the review, because I want to have by the end of the year a really well thought out and plotted and planned and recorded understanding of what I can get done in a month and what's reasonable for me and what's not, so that I can kind of start to really focus on having better habits. I don't want to try to jump into the new year as a completely different person. I want to jump in as the person I am now with goals in mind. I don't have any New Year's resolutions. I have goals for the year. So I'm very excited about this, and I just added tabs, and I have, every single month, and I just created these in, Google Sheets and printed them out on sticker paper, because I just don't want to mess with having to draw a bunch of calendars. It's one of the reasons why I quit bullet journaling, is I just don't want to. So anyway, and then after that, so I've got this, and then I've got all of these dot grid pages, and actually I already whited that one out. I've got all of these dot grid pages that I plan on using for like my YouTube plan and my blog plan and my newsletter plan, and just really fleshing it out. So this is just going to be a workbook where I just kind of come in and I have all of my brainstorming and my ideas generation and my plans and everything in here. And then part of one of my goals is to start actually journaling. And I'm thinking, I think I wrote down that it was going to be 3 times a week. I used to journal every day. And I went through a phase where I journaled every day, and it was really healthy for me, and it was very cathartic. And then a few years back, I had this series of tragedies, and every time I tried to journal about it, it was just nothing but negativity and pain and sadness, and it was grief. And I stopped journaling because I got so tired of writing the same things over and over. I'm sad. I had a hard day. All of these things. I couldn't do it. I'm not in that place anymore. And I've done a lot of healing, and I've done a lot of like journaling in other ways, and then kind of throwing it away because I didn't want to keep it, because I was just working through stuff. And now I'm kind of at a place where I'm like, okay, I would really like to be able to get back to journaling from that healthy place of, okay, here's, what's going really good, and here's what's going bad, and here's my goal for how I'm going to handle it, and that kind of thing. So this is just purely journaling, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to it. And these pages, because they came with that planner, They only have very subtle Erin Condren marketing on them, which is nice. These are less intrusive than the super bright ones that are over here that I just can't stand. However, this paper is 100% worth having to white these out for because it's just glorious to write on. I really love this paper. So I will probably once again next year be frankenplanning this. And I will likely buy the calendar again, just for the pages when they go on sale later on this year. And then just get rid of the calendars and keep the coil and do this kind of frankenplanning again next year because this is just awesome and I love it so much. And I get to look at Grogu every day, which is exciting. I mean, I already look at him every day. Like, he lives here. And there's another one. And then he is also here. So, I mean, I'm a bit of a fangirl. But anyway. Yeah, so there's all of my goal planning and how I'm implementing changes in order to reach my goals more effectively this year. And I think that's all I had. I don't think I have anything else planned. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I know this video is going up late. I was supposed to have this done yesterday, but my daughter had a doctor's appointment and it went way longer than it was supposed to, and I just ended up not being able to get it done. So I'm very happy I'm getting it done this morning. I will edit this and I will post it and it will be fine. And then I will see you guys next week, I believe, for my writing notebook setup. So thank you for watching.